I actually don't know how I feel about the stepdad. I feel like the sentiment is wonderful, that's absolutely the case, and the quality of the animation is beautiful. But I feel like it just lacked Disney magic compared to the other two. We have The Gift and the original From Our Family to Yours from 2020. They're very magical, they're beautiful, they're just so beautiful to look at. This one doesn't feel like it's got that same magical energy, so it feels different. It doesn't feel like it's part of the same trilogy. So if I'm in the mood to watch that kind of short, as with The Gift and From Our Family to Yours, it just feels like it's disconnected. It doesn't feel like the same kind of feel or the same kind of sentiment, so it doesn't feel like it fits in. But let's say I hadn't known it was part of that trilogy, I actually think I would have enjoyed it more. So it's kind of hard for me to judge how I feel, because if they're doing it as part of that trilogy, it's actually not very good. It doesn't really fit in with the other two. I don't think it works very well. But on its own, it's a beautiful story about this man who obviously becomes stepfather to these children, and it's almost like a guide on how to be a step parent. The lyrics are very cringy in the sense that they are depicting exactly what's going on the screen, and I don't really like the music. Again, on its own, I don't mind it, but it doesn't have the same feel as the music in the other two, so it doesn't seem to sit right. If I'm watching the trilogy kind of back to back, it feels very disconnected. But on its own, the lyrics are quite sweet and quite sentimental, and it's all about this stepfather initially observing how the mother interacts with her children, how the children like to be treated, and what the family dynamic is like, and then slowly becoming more involved with them and helping the children and really stepping up. And that, as a short, is a lovely message, and it's really beautiful. But as part of the trilogy, it doesn't fit in. It doesn't feel right to me. So I don't know how to judge it, because I went into it watching it as part of that trilogy. And I was like, okay, it's going to have this kind of feel, it's going to have this kind of music, it's going to have this kind of theme. Obviously, that family theme is running strong through it. It's nice that it's showing that family dynamics can be very different. There's no such thing as a typical family nowadays. Step parents are often, a common and beloved part of a family, as we see here. There are obviously various Disney things throughout it, Disney characters, Disney images. So it's obviously a Disney film, but it's lacking something that I can't quite put my finger on. The Disney magic. It just feels like it could have been done by any studio. And the other two definitely feel like they are Disney products. This one I feel could have been done by anybody, and I think that is what's making it feel like it's not part of that trilogy. So on its own, if I didn't know it was part of the other two, if I hadn't seen the other two, I would have preferred it, because I have these expectations. Bearing in mind this one came second. This was released in 2021. Um, but because I've obviously seen all three of them now, and I actually watched this one last just by chance, I know that the other two fit in together very well. This middle one, it doesn't. So it's kind of difficult to work out how I feel, or indeed what I'm meant to feel. On its own, it's good as part of the trilogy, not so much, but either way, I'd say if you have 3 minutes to spare, The Stepdad is worth watching at least once.